Welcome back, ladies and gents. It is FACEIT TV. We're here live with the September Counter-Strike Global Offensive monthly final, and I'm joined by Khan. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Anytime you want to come, you are welcome. And of course, we had some good games so far. Your team didn't do so well. They managed to lose 2-1 against LGB, unfortunately.
Right. No excuse, really. They played much better than we did, 2-1. And the way they won their maps, Inferno and Mirage, fairly convincing, to say the least. 16-2, 16-5, I think. So
true.
No excuses. Back to the drawing board or whatever you call it, and yeah, get some new tactics going, because I think that's what we need. Anyway, great game coming up here.
Exactly. We have BZSX, and if you're like, who the hell are they? Well, it's a mixed team, I guess. We have Benji, Zype, Dumbass, Twist, and Robin. And so there are some familiar names there. They've been around, but it is a mixed team. And they did beat Faculty, and this was a team that qualified, and Faculty were a team that were invited.
That's right.
And we have them against VeryGames. So that is the ultimate test, is it not?
Very much so. I guess what kind of plays in their favor is VeryGames are probably semi-drained, brain-drained rather, coming in from SLTV, winning that event, just got back to France or Belgium, wherever they live, just the other day actually. And also, I would like to point out, it seems like we're going to play Inferno here on the first map, the same map BZSX managed to beat Faculty on.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they get a great start here.
Yeah, this is actually the pick of VeryGames, and BZSX picked Dust 2, and the last is actually going to be Cash.
All right, classic.
So, yeah, that's going to be a fun one. And here we go.
So you say Inferno, and what was the second one?
Dust 2.
Dust 2.
And last is Cash. So we go pistol rounds coming up. They're just pushing hard and fast up Banana, but they've got some action from Shoxy up on mid, but Shock's going to go down. MBK and his teammates, though, making headway right on into that B bomb site. And looks like they're going to have this bomb site kind of under wraps very soon. But the CT rotation is coming in, and there it is. Twist going to get caught off guard. Brilliant position by the tree there. Always a nasty one, actually. And Smith is going to deflect some aggression there, so looks like not much to be done for BZSX there. VeryGames systematically, methodically pushed their way in and just annihilated the defense there and set up their own, and it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it seems like it was a kind of a free ride going into bomb spot B and plant the bomb. And not only planting the bomb, but also taking the appropriate positioning.
Yeah.
What I really like to see from people planting the bomb in bomb spot B, being terrorists of course, is to go aggressive, to take the peaks, not hide behind the barrels. Use the time against their opponent, because they are the ones that should be stressed.
Oh, brilliant play there from Twist, using that deagle in a perfect spot, it seems like. And it might maybe be that Scream, the player who is, or rather Smith, the player that's kind of catching rotations, is going to go down, and that's going to be his gun going to Twist if he wants to take it. Or did he not have a gun, actually? And all but Scream's alive for VeryGames. Just Scream in the B-bomb site. Got Benji and Twist with those pistols trying to make their way in, and this is an amazing eco round for them so far.
Still have a grenade. It's not going to be useful though. They kind of missed their chance there.
Scream going to be able to defend this with the Galil. Two players coming in, and there is a headshot from Twist. And I got to say, there's some beautiful play with the deagle there on the defense. I think that's really what made the round possible. Kind of really put that stopping power in a very high-powered weapon, and it's very inaccurate these days. Nothing like it used to be. The deagle has changed so much from Counter-Strike game to Counter-Strike game, and finally in Go, it's really different.
It is, certainly. I mean, you can still do these amazing headshots, but it's rarely that you see people making like consecutive headshots. We spoke about the Russians, the Eagles, before. They always bought it during ecos, and that ended up in tons of highlight clips when they like acing with the Eagle with a lot of headshots. But anyway, Twist today, he has been amazing. Not only in this round, but also in the game against Faculty.
And there you go, VeryGames. Smith opening up Banana once again, and situational weapons like the Eagle are really useful to take advantage of, but when you've got Smith just walking in and just stunning everyone down like this, even that will not help you. Smith taking down this site for VeryGames. All of his teammates still alive. The bomb is going to be planted. There's not much more that BZSX can really accomplish in this round, but to save. No way will they try a 2 versus 5 situation, so they're just going to go with that AWP, with that M4, and just try to save them. See if they're going to manage it. Oh no! Great catch. Existence coming in from perhaps the most well, to Benji, maybe the most unlikely spot, crawling around in apartments. And he's going to lose that AWP. That's a huge pickup there for VeryGames as Dumas goes down as well. So excellent play here from VeryGames. So far, they're looking at making this a very one-sided game almost, as it looks like from these very few rounds we've seen some dominating performances. However, BZSX have shown some strength too. So let's let time run its course and see how things pan out here.
Yeah, I think they're currently like smashing their heads to their screen or the table or something like that, asking themselves like, how on earth did that happen? They won the eco round with pistols, of course, maybe a shotgun as well, but they ended up going way too aggressive the round that followed that up. And VeryGames, who should have actually been forced to play it slowly and just use the fact that the CTs had more weapons, instead Dumas and his team, they just went aggressive and they died to VeryGames, who are again one of the best hitters of Counter-Strike Go.
And you can see that actually they tried to use that Deagle strategy in that same position once again, which is quite interesting. I mean, it's definitely quite a viable strategy as well. And I guess the nice thing, well, actually thinking about it as well, if you look at the Deagle versus the P250 as an investment, like the Deagle costs a lot more, but I think that's one of the few spots where it's like really justified, because you can't get the stopping power at the optimal ranges quite like you can with the Deagle in that spot. So that's one of the times when it's really justified, I think. But so far, you know, Melo's going to buy a scout, and that's an interesting choice. I guess he had a lot of money, and his teammates did not, because, yeah, this is an interesting one. What do you think a Twist is doing here? Sorry.
He would have been better off buying like a Mag 7 or something like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. There are a lot of close ranges for the Mag 7 too. Oh, that's. I mean, he did pick up a kill, but
so
I mean,
he bought a scout, but it ended up killing
awkward.
someone with the USB.
Yeah.
And the scout, I think, is cost like 2.350 or something like that. So
those are the kinds.
Not sure if it was a great investment.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was a plan from the team there at all that much. But I mean, they were kind of on eco, but.
Yeah, but it's all these kind of signs that kind of adds up to the fact that we are looking at a mixed team.
Exactly, yeah. They do manage to afford to buy though. You know, Twist did have a lot of money. That's why he was able to buy that scout. But we'll see what he's able to do with this. They do have 3 players on Banana here, so that's when you do that. I guess you put 3 players to counteract maybe a quick rush in the early time windows, and then you float him back. But what do you think of this so far from BZSX? What are they not doing correctly here?
Well, it's still kind of early game, obviously. We have seen a pistol round and a few anti-ecos and ecos. So it's going to be interesting to see them moving into mid-game, how well they're able to adapt to the furious French and Belgian team here. Because obviously, by picking Inferno and also being very successful on that map at SLTV, they know this map. They know how to execute the strategies. They know how to adapt as well. We were talking a bit earlier against the game VeryGames had against NIP. They were able to do a big comeback.
And there you go. Scream was able to take down a lot of players there. The thing is, VeryGames, well, actually, BZSX did a great job here. The job is not done just yet. Okay, there you go. They got the last kill. They're going to get... Oh, it's very close. Not going to get it.
And he's going to die.
Oh, no. If he loses weapon, that's horrible.
Okay, I don't think he was close to get that defuse, but still he started to run away from it.
Okay.
And it was... Why would he even do that? Because he would die to the bomb anyway, so he should have at least tried, I think. But whatever.
It was an interesting situation. They managed to kind of stay alive, whilst VeryGames basically just smoked up the site, got a perfect entry, and just set up after the plant, got a perfect post-plant situation for themselves. So if you consider that, BZSX did pretty well, but still, you can see a few inconsistencies here and there. But so far, it's 5-1. VeryGames definitely asserting their dominance, but Smith's going to go down. ACF going to take him away with that AWP.
That was Robin, right? I think we agreed on.
Okay, and let's see now how VeryGames decide to push in here. They got the options of short and also arch. And here goes Shocks on through short. He spots the player now. He knows there's one in the big pit. That's good information to have. But he's got a player coming in, Scream from above. He should be able to help dealing with that pesky player there, taking him down. Benji falling to the ground. Shocks right in on the side. They're going to take this without a problem. ASDF, Robin going to be left with that AWP, and he's got to save that. So things aren't going very well. It's like VeryGames are just deciding, okay, we're going here, and then they do it perfectly. And it feels like there's nothing that BZSX can do.
I think we have to highlight how well Shox actually played that round. It wasn't any like amazing clean headshots coming out from him, but he kind of took the duels he needed to, and in my opinion, Shox is probably one of the best AK players on this planet. He's not only great with tapping with it, like getting the one shots, the clean headshots again,
yeah,
but also the spraying with the spraying technique. He really masters that players among the professional players.
Definitely, and they do at least save an AWP. Robin with that AWP should help him in the next rounds, but his team are not doing so well for money. I mean, they're not looking. I mean, they're looking at a situation where they lose this, they're probably down to an eco again. I think.
I guess their problem is that they're having some kind of luxury problem where some of them have too much money and they end up buying, whereas it maybe makes more sense for them to just save and be able to drop a weapon to someone or the teammates in a later stage. This is actually the first weapon round we're looking at in many rounds.
So here we go. Big round here for BZSX. Can they make it count? So far, VeryGames defensive. They got a couple players on Banana, spreading out, gaining a lot of position around the map. They may even try to push back some of the players at BZSX on A, like push them back, you know, further back on short, further back on arch, to try to get more space, more map control before they decide what they're going to do. And right now, the bomb is over at Banana. It's kind of indicative that they're going to commit there, but we've got 3 players over at mid still. They're going to make their push still. Up mid, they go, and oh, wow, okay, Scream going to pick off one. They got mid under control, and the bomber is still at Banana, so it's quite unclear here what they're going to do, but they're making their way through the CT spawns. They're going to try to synchronize through onto Banana now. Looks quite committed, but Twist going to stop that.
Oh, he misses that shot. That's so crucial.
Oh my goodness, he's missing all the shots there. I mean, a quick USP kill, but that's not what you want. He had the position, the pivotal role in that round to make it a round that BZSX could take without losing an AWP, and that's pretty crucial because that's such a big investment.
Yeah, I mean, with now sitting with the fact on our hands and looking how the round eventually went, again in the favor for BZSX, but I believe VeryGames should have rotated from bomb spot B. I know that the bomb was there, but still, I think the time on the clock were somewhere like 35-45 seconds. They could have decided to rotate back to bomb spot A and plant the bomb there, where they actually got the entry frag. Scream got that one very nicely.
Yeah, certainly. So here we have now Robin on with the M4 trying to defend Banana. The smoke does go down to stop any quick rushes. It's very difficult to run through smoke in this game. That's why you see a lot of smokes used to stop those aggressions. And Twist with a quick pick onto A mid as they try to make their way up. VeryGames, not so successfully, but this is going to be a test of their 3-on-5 skills. I mean, they're in a situation where, okay, guys, we now have 3 versus 5. We can decide on a play together. What should we go for? Looks like they want to go up mid. They've got Smith here on the angle, and his teammate, they're covering the angle and short. Existence it was. He does take the pick, but there's one in Boiler. Do they know this could be a horribly large blind spot for VeryGames? Got to be careful there. And there is that player from that Boiler room, Dumas. See, completely unexpected location. Twist with the flank, and they clean up VeryGames. So very nice round there from BZSX.
Kind of a small mistake there. Well, not really small. It's made an impact in the end of the day. Existence running around with a knife that late into the round without even knowing whether a opponent player could be at that point, and that eventually led to his death, of course. Obviously, a very tricky situation. It was 3-on-5, but I don't see why he's running around with a knife. Yeah,
it is an interesting one. So we have a couple players in apartments, 3 in fact, around apartments, the second mid, 4 around second mid now, and bomb is there too, around the wagon. So more of a presence on A side here, and Banana is kind of being pushed a little bit. They have car, and that is a very strong position to have. It gives you a lot of information, and they may even want to push down to the logs, in fact, to get even more information. And by this, they have their floating player from Banana floating all the way back to A, because that position for Twist is strong. He's going to creep down. It looks like the entry being made from MBK as he moves into the A bomb site. Smith's here at the boiler room. Scream and his teammates taking down that big pit. The flank coming in. They've got such a great setup going into this attack onto A. They've done enough. They should be able to get the bomb down. And it's all about the retake now from the CT side, from BZSX. But the problem is they've got 2 riflers and 1 AWP player, and they're low health. This is hard. This is really tough. And Shoxy going to go down there. Robin with a great kill. Going to make his way in from short. Swaps out for the AK. In on to the bomb site. Quickly dealt with by NBK. Twist doesn't like his luck anymore. He's going to get caught from Boiler Room. Oh, so painful. Dropping the AWP. And Dumas, the last man standing, going to try and save his weapon. Retreats all the way. Cowers, tail between legs. Back into B. So, VeryGames going to take this round somewhat convincingly. Very, very nice take of that site, I've got to say.
So in the 3-on-3 situation we saw, I think it was a failure from Dumas to be more aggressive. Yes, he was the guy in CT, in BZSX with the lowest health, but he should serve as some kind of an indicator, some kind of spy, I assume, to his teammates to actually pin down where the defending Ts are standing. Now the guy with 100 health went in and he died. At that point it's game over and he ended up saving. He should have been the initiator at that point. I'm not saying he would get the frag, but he would at least get the indication where the opponents are sitting and waiting for his.
Oh wow, and Dumas's position there was very, very forward indeed as he made his way up onto that wagon area, and that's going to shut down one player there on second mid. And we have Existence here making his way around Banana, trying to stop any CTs. They're pushing their way up there, and we've got Twist and Benji over at the Boiler Room. So things are looking very interesting at this point. They're just Shox and Existence left. There's so much they can really do.
That was a super nice frag.
Wow, yeah. That is game knowledge there. That's being able to shut your eyes and understanding exactly where everything is on the map. Spraying down the car. And unfortunately, though, it will be around for BZSX, unfortunately for VeryGames. But BZSX, they are coming back into this. And it was looking very one-sided. But now, things are getting a lot better for them.
Yeah, I guess we have to remind ourselves that we are looking at VeryGames, who for the past 2 weeks kind of have been the best team on the planet, I guess.
Yeah.
At least winning SLTV over NIP, Astana, and Fnatic. And we're looking at a mixed team that qualified, found their way into this tournament, beating N Faculty, and now playing against, yeah, at least the top 2 team of the world. Obviously an online environment and such, but still quite impressive, 4-7.
Oh yeah. Definitely, and they are making a very quick flank here, and this kind of flank is perhaps not expected by VeryGames. Their speed is so fast, BZSX, they're so quick, and just in the Boiler Room with the no-scopes there, they're all just trying to just jam their way through the door, and they will just take down every single VeryGames player. That's very awkward, but they did manage to do the job regardless. So VeryGames are now looking at a situation where, okay.
I think it's eco time
as
well, for some of them at least. That has been kind of like the consensus throughout this evening's games.
Yeah.
Like so many random buy rounds where many of the teammates, actually sometimes the majority of teammates haven't been able to afford more than a P250.
And that's the case here as well. Shox just with a pistol. And a teammate
they must know it's to the right. No, they don't. Yeah, now they do.
And just so much aggression from BZSX. I think that's what VeryGames have to think about here because, I mean, they're against this mixed team. I mean, you've got to think about that. It's a team that probably doesn't have many strategies in the bag. And I mean, if you look at a team like NIP, you know, they have a lot of strength when it comes to aggression because of their aiming, because of their peeking skill, because of their experience in that regard. And playing as a mixed team, you're going to be thinking about that skill set much more than you are the skill set of strategy and relying on finely tuned grenades and positioning.
It's a very good point, because you know, if BZSX ending up playing just like NIP, if they're trying to just mimic their game style, the strategies and positioning and all that, I think they will fail, you know, because they are not as good as NIP are on stuff like team play, finding the timing and also trusting each other that they cover each other's backs. So I guess, yeah, aggressive play is probably the approach they should take at this point. And they have done so successfully the past 3 rounds. And more to come, I think.
It does seem to be the case so far, but VeryGames, VeryGames are a very experienced team. They can adapt their strategies well. So it's just all down to the strength of the leadership for VeryGames. And so far, things are going a bit awry for them, but here we have Benji, the last man, and he's going to make his way through, around to the car from Banana, spots one, Scream there to finish him though. So, VeryGames taking one round back into this, and things are looking, I mean, they're still in the lead, But BZSX, they kind of took a very terrible situation and through aggression made it good. But the thing is that VeryGames feel like, okay, we just have to make this one small adjustment because of the aggression of their opponents. Then that could be it. That could be VeryGames then going back into dominance. Let's see how they handle this. Of course, we're close to the end of the first half. And it is 8-6. This is the last round. And here we go. Aggression coming in. VeryGames, MBK picking off one. And there's a second one as well. Banana's open for the taking. And they're going to rush straight into the site. But there's two players quick on the rotation. We've got Robin and we have his teammate there. It is
great
Twist.
positioning on the smokes though, so the AWPs they're having with the two AWPs cannot do much work. Obviously Twist going super aggressive here, finding Smith and also finding Scream, winning the round for them. That was... It took a lot of guts to attack
Run through
that bomb spot with AWP.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because the gamble you're taking is that, okay, either you hit the shot, you win the round pretty much, or it's likely that you will miss the shot because you will end up looking at multiple targets at the same time. So you have to have fair amount of luck on your end, going through that smoke and finding your opponent and making sure that that opponent is not looking at you at that point. So it was kind of like surprising for VeryGames, I guess.
I mean, it's worth noting that Shox is lagging. Actually, I do recall that last time we had a monthly final, Shox was lagging too.
He did?
So yeah, he was lagging really bad, and it was on Inferno as well.
I think he is one of their French player, but anyway, one of the ISPs out there. If it's in France or Belgium, they should look after Shox way more than they do. Because from looking at his performances at recent LAN events, SLTV included, of course, he's been a world-class player. Like even the best in the world, I would say, at some points. Not consistently, but at some moments he really shines. Yeah,
actually, I mean, in the last time we saw him on FACEIT, he was playing, or rather he was playing with VeryGames against NIP. And it's actually looking like VeryGames were about to win against NIP, and then all of a sudden he started lagging really bad.
Oh no.
And there's like, you know, they had a massive advantage. It really looked like they were going to win, and this is before they did actually win. So that must have been very, very disappointing for them. But Shox, you know, I guess he has some problems with his ISP regularly, and that is resulting in some lag. So they just wanted a couple minutes to see if Shox's lag would resolve, because they don't want to lose to a mixed team.
They certainly don't want to.
They don't want to go the way of Faculty. So we'll see how things are going, and it looks like they're calling for the ready, calling for the go. So we'll get
I
back
guess
to
one team that would be very happy though if if VeryGames end up losing this, and that would obviously be LGB Sport coming from the other side of the bracket, beating Fnatic 2-1. But yeah, so far so good, I guess, for VeryGames. They are somewhat of a lead here, 8-7, but it's still very open. Surprisingly, I wouldn't expect this score before the first half here.
Yep. So we'll see how things go. And LGB, so let's assume that LGB do face off against VeryGames. How do you think that matchup really plays out?
VeryGames, LGB? I actually think, I honestly... This may sound a bit weird. I actually think these guys have a bigger chance beating VeryGames than LGB beating them, because LGB will like just put themselves in a spot and they expect themselves to have like a decent chance of beating them, but then they realize at some point that they are on a much higher level than them. This is something that I don't think bothers Twist and his team too much, because they are like a mix. They're only here for the fun. They can just play aggressively, whereas LGB would be somewhere between passive and aggressive. I don't think they were able to find a way of playing, whereas I think you should fully go into one game mode against VeryGames, being the underdog and a big underdog. Both of these teams are underdogs. If that made any sense.
No. Yeah, it's a nothing to lose situation versus.
Whereas LGB is still kind of like it's not a mixed team.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have been around for a while, and they kind of expect themselves to be in the top, but they are still quite far away from VeryGames.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. So we're having a restart there.
Yeah, we're going live now, I think.
The second half underway. So 8-7 was the score to VeryGames. Had a bit of lag on Shoxy, but it's a good start off from BZSX, who in the first rounds were looking like they're being stepped all over by VeryGames.
Well, bear in mind they actually won the first eco round, but then they just threw that away, and I think that's going to halt them now going into the second half, because they could have and they should have way more rounds than they had in the end. Only 7.
Yeah, definitely, VeryGames. The great thing about VeryGames when you watch them out of all the teams today is when you see them do setups and when you see them coordinate rushes and so on. It looks quite well, not necessarily perfect, but it looks so well fleshed out, like they've done it 100 times, and it's so well timed. So that's something really beautiful to see.
It is.
Even if the post plant setup doesn't work, they always put themselves in the positions to have the advantage, that they don't need to necessarily have the best aim or whatever, because they have the best positions and the timing and coordination as a team. So they're a great team to watch for that. So I hope to see VeryGames doing more of what they do, and that's always something fun for me to watch. And BZSX, so despite being a mixed team and despite throwing all the aggression at VeryGames, it's been a little unorthodox, and they're quite exciting to watch, and it's a test for VeryGames. So it is
certainly,
because there are situations where you see a mixed team playing, and you're kind of like, it can be a bit annoying because it's like there's clearly
I'm sure
no
it's annoying for VeryGames though, because these guys are just rushing over them sometimes, and successfully sometimes, not successful other times. But anyway, VeryGames, I think they kind of find the balance. They found both yin and yang at the same time now. At one point, I think they were too kind of orthodox in the way they were playing the game. They relied too much on the flashbang. They relied too much on their timings and all the stuff they have talked about on like dry runs on servers, walking through their strategies, obviously led by Existence. But now I think they have loosened things up more, allowing people like Shox, people like Scream to take the duels that they are so in favor of doing. Because they do have some of the best aimers in their team, and that's something they need to really utilize. Not only relying, depending on strategies, instead appreciating the fact if they open up the round, when they end up in a 3-on-3, 2-on-2, whatever, with the bomb planted, or if they're about to defuse, they have really good communication as well, which kind of obviously favors them statistically. Playing teams like with less team play, I would call out people like Fnatic, Astana, ESC, currently in Universal Soldier, I think. NIP, though, is somewhere around or even better than VeryGames when it comes to the communication and adapting to moments like 3-on-3, 2-on-2s.
Yeah, that's definitely actually a very interesting point, just because NIP, they get the reputation of being like really aim-based and stuff, but their pace is like they can be so fast, and all the players have such good intuition. And actually, like, there's so much value to being able to understand always what your teammate's doing without even, like, you can just close your eyes and not look at anything.
Exactly.
And you understand what's happened from your perspective, so you already know what they're doing.
That's right.
That's very powerful. It's not something that a lot of teams and players have. So that's one of, I think, the X factors that NIP really have going for them. But looks like we are very close to starting the second half here of VeryGames and BZSX. BZSX, of course, a mixed team comprising of Benji, Zype, Damas, Twist, and Robin. And, of course, Smith, Scream's Existence, MBK, and Shox for VeryGames. And VeryGames, they are pretty damn good. They are pretty damn tight. I mean, what would you say is the most interesting quality about VeryGames? Like, if you want to look at VeryGames and learn one thing, what is that thing?
Yeah, what is that? A combination. Actually, I know that you love me to say one thing here, only one thing, but it's actually the balance they have between all these assets you see from a top team. Communication, strategies, and individual skill. They have now, again, as I expressed earlier, they have kind of find a balance between these aspects of the game. But yeah, obviously to point something out, I think the aiming department, Shox and Scream.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'm getting worried about Fnatic and other teams for that sake as well by watching them playing like CSGO DM or something like that when they're just using their aim. And also looking at HLTV.org, their stats, the headshot stats they're having, it's kind of mental, to say the least. Sometimes you see Scream above 90%. Which is not always a good thing. That actually means, I think it's Wayne Gretzky at one point said that you miss all the shots you don't take. And I think Scream is somewhat conservative. Scream is kind of conservative with the amount of shots he's actually taking. It depends a lot on like hitting that one shot. And sometimes he could have probably been better off by spraying, relying a bit on luck, depending on what kind of situation it is, of course. But super high percentage headshot percentage from Shox and Scream. So aiming, definitely, it's what actually they are superior at.
It's so like talking about aiming before we get into the game and the piss around and stuff, because it's not yet started. As a professional player or ex-professional player yourself, what were the ways that you loved to train aiming and so on? Like how did you approach that?
I guess bots was one of the best ways. Installing the bots on the tournament PC, I just play like 100 frags on the aim map of your choice. That kind of got you going, basically. But also what we did in Fnatic, just to get the team communication going as well. Obviously, you're playing an odd number in CS. You're five members, right? So we play 3 versus 2 on Glock map, and we made a lot of fun during this moment. And obviously, you practice a bit of your aim, warmed up, but also communication, and made a bit fun, kind of trying to reduce the stress by just chilling out on a Glock server, basically. So depends what kind of player you are, but I kind of like to take a team approach to the warm-up process rather than everybody just sitting listening to Spotify and their favorite music and shooting bots in their head. Maybe there is a middle way. We can also practice some communication and getting into the mood of the game.
Okay, so I mean that's really nice. I also like the bot approach too, and I think we're actually into the second round here, and looks like the bomb situation for BZSX is looking quite good as it's about to explode. There you go. Quick exit kill there.
I think we got a bit carried away talking about aim and such, so we probably missed a few rounds. I'm not sure if the E-bot kind of caught a bit off guard now, because we see the score now is 2-0 to BZSX. Exactly. But the total score, just to clarify that to the viewers out there, it should be at this point 9-8 in favor of the Swedish mixed team.
Exactly. So we've got all AKs now, and apologies for our little mistake there, but
sorry about that.
We got this from now on, and BZSX, they are, as you said, taking the lead now. And we have Existence, Shocks, Scream, and Smith just with pistols, but they have NBK with an AK-47. NBK taking some fire though, and they have him at the position at the car. And I love how they played this. They tried to get a couple pistolers to help secure him in behind that car position, which is a really nice spot. And NBK managed to take one down, in fact, on Banana. So nice stuff coming in from VeryGames. They're trying to use their assets pretty well. And right now, BZSX are trying to make good of a situation that could get pretty dire right now. They're going to make their approach onto A, and here comes Shoxy with the defense from that pit. So things are going really well for VeryGames. It's kind of eco round. They picked up 2 AK-47s already, and now it's a 2-on-3. So VeryGames are doing such a great job here.
Yeah, they have the bomb though, and I think they have a fairly free route into bomb spot B. We do see the VeryGames approaching closely though here, so NBK is finding a really good position now, only with 15 health though. Oh, quite of a fail from Shox, eventually getting twist down. Could be his ping again.
Yeah, exactly. Here, Shock's going to go down, and BZSX, they are going to be trying to get the bomb down. He's got so little health. Twist, it's going to be super hard for him. Oh god, can he make this happen? But no, he cannot, absolutely cannot. Smith is going to clean that up, and VeryGames is going to take an incredible round there. They had nothing but one AK-47. They played it well. They pushed him into the car at Banana with the 2 pistols, had that great support, picked up a weapon, 2 AKs, pushed the round forwards from there with a good setup on A. They were like one step ahead every time from BZSX. BZSX wanted to go to B, and they had that setup already there. Then they already predicted that they were going to go back to A, and they had the perfect setup there with the pistols. So really, really beautiful round from VeryGames. Love it.
Right, I agree on that. But at the same time, when BZSX found NBK in the Banana, they should have
wow. Oh my god. What was that?
There was some bowling in the Banana.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was that when they did see NBK with the AK in the Banana, they should have just stuck together, approaching middle, plant the bomb in A, but they just messed up by going the apartment instead of just sticking together and just like methodically reducing the manpower of VeryGames. Even if they lose a few members, it doesn't matter because they're sticking together, so they're keeping the rifles.
Yeah, and they have it's like 10-9 now, so it's still really close between these two guys. VeryGames just now with that round taking the lead, and they have an interesting setup here, one on the corner.
This is what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So let's see if it's red. And Smith, well, his teammate's going a bit too far up. Okay, there you go. Smith did the job to try to confuse them. I'm sure he was spotted. And we have Smith there. And right now, nothing quite happening on the mid. They're just taking their time. We have just a standard setup from both teams, more or less, apart from the double setup on Archway there. And still BZSX have yet to really push in. They're trying to make their way for apartments, but they're finding a lot of resistance. Shox with some great spray down there. Smith doesn't even need his sneaky positioning because the kills are going to be coming out anyway. Some great defense on the mid. Smith's still there. Smith has been playing very well so far in this game against BZSX, and it looks like abandoned ship from the apartments. Dumas flying out the window. He's going to make his way back towards Banana with the bomb, but his teammates shut down on Banana as well. There's nothing left for Dumas to do, and that's going to be another round, I think, for VeryGames, as BZSX gave it their all, but a really beautiful setup from VeryGames. But not only that, it was more or less like what you're saying coming into play. The aim game really strong there in this round for VeryGames.
Yeah, I feel like Dumas has, for a couple of times now, been left by himself and not being proactive in the rounds.
Does seem to be the case, and let's see how now they decide to play this, as this is a situation where VeryGames can start to run away with it. I mean, we have the eco round coming in now for Terrace, for BZSX, as they try to make something happen here. Let's see what they go with. They've got a couple players going up Banana, and they've got some on second mid as well. I see some Beagles here, or rather a Beagle from Menlo. Let's see if he can do anything with it. The twist left now, so absolutely nothing being gained by that investment of the Deagle. Unfortunately for them, it didn't seem like there was much of a plan. It felt like he just was like, oh, I'm just going to deco. Maybe he had the money for it, but they didn't kind of use it very well. But either way, they can buy their AKs, they can buy an AWP on Twist. So where do you think Twist would best be served with this AK?
He would probably start by going Banana left here, trying to secure and gain some map control.
Going for the mid instead.
That also makes sense, but we don't see that duel that often in CSGO compared to 1.6. This was like a common spot to kind of win a round early, same as Dust 2 in the middle gate, I suppose. But I expect him to help, assist, take over the Banana area, and then they will probably start to go up in the middle. However, though, they're playing risky business here. They're kind of committing to B early on in the round. They don't have anyone else on the other side of the map, so I think they must, at this point, EDK go for bomb spot B.
It does seem to be the case. They are pretty heavily committed there. They're leaving their AWP player at T-Slope in the back. There's three
Look at VeryGames had 3 members here already. This is going to be hard for BZSX.
Oh, they read it so well. I think the smokes kind of gave it away as well. And Shock's going to rotate, but Existence with the spray down. And beautiful read from VeryGames. They knew it was coming. They had 3 men in there.
Yeah, I think that was the fact that it was completely silent. No action whatsoever in the street area of the map and the balcony area. And when you do those kind of rounds, you need to find a better timing. And when I say that, I think that BZSX should have been way faster attacking bomb spot B there. Even if that means that they needed to go through the smoke grenades. By putting 5 members in Banana, you kind of have to attack early.
And here's a lot of aggression coming up on Banana, but the defense is so far working, but the P90 action might be good. No, not at all. Scream can't make that happen. Very odd weapon for Scream to pick a P90 that's such like a run and spray weapon, but we have here now a lot of aggression still on Banana. The smokes are down. Dumas is going to run straight through it though, and Existence not ready for it, and Dumas is going to get 1 kill spraying through, blinded though by the flash. Just darts right to the back of the site, and more VeryGames players going down until MBK is the last man left alive, but he has an AK-47. MBK can do this. Benji's on 6 health. Dumas is 81.
I think Benji will go down quickly, like in 2 seconds or something like that.
Here we go. There's the peak. Spots him. And wow. Okay, it does go down. BK is still alive. He's got to find the last remaining player, Dumas. Can Dumas do this against NBK? He lets his position be known, and that's it. The headshot there, and NBK. Beautiful reaction time there. And NBK going to take that round there for his team VeryGames. That's an amazing retake. 1 versus 2 clutch. Good
yeah,
stuff.
It was a nice retake. And of course, all the credit to NBK for winning that 1-2 situation. But seriously, looking at the positioning and the decision making, I think it was it Dumas that was left by himself in the end?
Yeah, you're right.
He should have played it way more passively than he did. He showed himself without even knowing if he could get a clean shot on his opponent.
Look at these weapons. Is that 2 auto snipers and a P90?
I think it is indeed.
What is happening here?
Oh, no, wow. To a double there.
And there's Twist, yeah.
Combo.
3 versus 3 now, and they're left with a P90 and also sniper and an AK-47. Interesting combination for the French players, Belgians, but they've proven to be so impressive when it comes to aiming, when it comes to the duels. Let's see if they can keep it up. As Twist going to turn this corner through lobby.
Look at the timing here. Existence missed his peak here, so I think Menlo is going to get in a very favorable situation here. But then again, looking at the overview, we see the bomb in bomb spot B. We cannot see it on the overlay here, but we cannot see it on the small overlay. The bomb is currently in a neutral position. So it seems like they're going for the kills here rather than the objective that is, of course, planting the bomb.
And then BK took down one, and there's the Pistol of Existence to get another, and it's just Benji left now. And VeryGames are, so far, being a little unorthodox. The jump P90, of course, always good. Is Scream trying to mess with his percentages, or what is he doing with the P90?
Yeah, I guess P90 is not the optimal weapon to increase your headshot percentage. But you can certainly spam, you can certainly get a lot of frags, even against helmet, Kevlar, plus AKs.
Yeah, an interesting knife he has, the Karambit, interesting. But so far, VeryGames are starting to really feel much more like the dominant team that they are. And
they're on 15 rounds right now, so it's current score, you cannot see it right now, but it's 15-9. So
they managed on the CT side to absolutely start the domination. And there's not much, it seems, that their opponents BZSX can do. And BZSX had a lot of up and down moments in this Inferno match, and that's really promising. And you're saying that you believe that BZSX have more of a chance than LGB.
Well, kind of bold statement, I guess. Where I'm kind of coming from is that I think LGB, like mentally, they feel like they have more to lose, whereas these guys are not expecting anything from this match, really. They're just going to play aggressive and do what they can to beat VeryGames.
Yeah, it's very true. And Twist.
And that is not necessarily, what I'm saying with that is that that's not ending up as a mental game, because I think VeryGames mentally is a way stronger team than LGB, for example. They have more in their arsenal, they have a more diverse game style, they're more able to adapt to what kind of game they're up against.
But it means much more to LGB. And it's like VeryGames going to take that round, so they get a good game, and that's going to be Inferno won by VeryGames. And of course we have Dust 2 coming up as the second map here for the September Counter-Strike Global Offensive FACEIT monthly final. And I'm DDK, and this is Khan, of course. If you don't know him, you should. Been around for a while.
Been around for a while.
Been around for a while. And so VeryGames now, I mean, they had a bit of a shaky start. They have some lag on shocks as well. So after that pause, things started to really roll in a good direction for them, as
maybe connected to his neighbor's wireless or something.
Yeah,
like
it could be. And they had CT too. So,
but I tell you, even when he did have connection problems in the earliest part of the game, he did some crazy shots, which is again like evidence that he's an amazing aimer, right? And sprayer for that sake. He has that balance. He can do both. Whereas Scream again is very much about hitting the headshots rather than spraying down the enemy.
So how do you use a guy that's amazing at the tapping style? Like, where do you put Scream? Is he the
long
entry
distances.
fragger? Or
entry fragger indeed.
Okay.
But also, long distance entry frags, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, going aggressive in the middle, that we saw all of Olaf doing earlier. For example.
Actually, Mirage is actually like a perfect map for him. Mirage is really nice for the tap style, actually, I feel like. But Dust 2 is as well.
Dust 2 is the map of the hour.
Here we go.
Slightly more mixed friendly compared to Inferno, I think.
Most certainly. But then again, there is limitation there, I suppose, because I guess the basics of Dust 2 are easier to grasp and easier to play. But I guess if you put it against VeryGames, it's like, well, there's so much more you can do on Dust 2 that a mixed team could never hope to achieve against a team like them. Whereas maybe on the less
but I think it's still in the what do you call it, like the backbone of all the Counter-Strike players on this level when it comes to how to execute a B2 split, what kind of timing that involves. Whereas Inferno, it's a very delicate timing you need to appreciate, and also the placement of flashbangs, smoke grenades. It's more complicated on Inferno for whatever reason. If that's a map limitation, or if it's down to the simple fact that Dust 2 more than any other map combined, I guess, in the FPS world of esports, has been played so many times. I mean, people like myself, we kind of grew up on this map, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's actually a map that hasn't. Maybe it's the map that's changed the least, I suppose.
Not too much, really. Obviously, with CSGO, you can throw more stuff over the walls, something you couldn't in, the B2 wall you could on CS 1.6, but here you can throw things over each and every wall of the map, basically. Then again, the sniper, kind of how you utilize the sniper on this map has changed a little bit. We do not see too many aggressive CT peaks on Catwalk, for example. We still see the epic battle between the T-Sniper, CT Sniper early on in the round. I think that's personally very exciting for the viewers. You can open up the rounds within a matter of 5 seconds. Something you don't see on maps like Nuke, Inferno, I guess. Mirage does too. They have a lot of early entry kills.
It's also very depressing for the guy who loses the duel.
Very much so. I recall a moment. We played Fnatic versus Na'Vi. This was probably during Navi's prime, the Ukrainian powerhouse, of course, led by Marklov at this point, one of the history's best Counter-Strike AWPer. And Forrest and I, we were protecting Bomb B on Dust 2 again. And for, I think, 4 or 5 rounds in a row, Forrest did the jump over the middle doors.
Oh, yeah.
And he got killed through the door by headshot by Marklov during, I think it was a final.
Really?
It was like it was land matches in the playoffs.
Oh my god.
So that obviously ruined our day that moment. And Forrest couldn't really do anything. He tried all kinds of jumps just to kind of make sure Marklov is not hitting him this time. But nope, he did indeed.
Yeah,
but for the viewers, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. But I just want to remind people that there's actually a lot of pickups going on the FACEIT platform right now. If you just go to the CS dashboard, faceit.com/dashboard/CSGO, you can go and check that out. You don't need anything but just an account. You don't need any fancy memberships or anything. It's for free. You can just go and play some pickup games. There's loads happening. If you want to test out the awesome servers and how awesome the whole system is, you can just go and try it out now. I mean, there's loads of activity going on, so go and get your asses over there and start playing some on the FACEIT platform and see how it is. And if you have any feedback from playing, we are more than happy to welcome all kinds of feedback. So just hit us up with anything you want, and we will try to do our best to make it the best product for you, because it's a service for the gamers. So the service that we never had.
Exactly. Giving it back to the young guys now.
Yeah.
The new players, the new generation, our future, our hope.
Exactly. It's like we're doing some commercial for like a greener planet or something. It's like anti-pollution sort of thing. But looks like we're just waiting on getting 5 on each team. Oh no, we have everyone on the server.
Yeah, I think they're getting there. They're probably waiting for our go here.
So a knife round to commence very shortly on Dust 2. And is there a side in CSGO which you prefer to start on as? I mean, Terrorist was usually the preferable side for this map in history.
In general,
still the same thing?
Coming from a CS 1.6 background again, where the kind of peaker's advantage didn't exist until the same extent you see in CSGO, CT-sided. That's the side you kind of like to start at. There was a point in the history of CS 1.6, probably between like 2006, 2010, 11-ish. Sorry for all the nostalgia here. But at that point, Dust 2 was very, very favored. So of course you play T, even further back in the days. But then something happened when people understood how to utilize AWPs more as CTs on Dust 2. It was probably during the time when Na'Vi started to be a relevant team, for example, going aggressive early middle, smoking the middle doors in a different manner that we have done before and such. Kind of taking the initiative in the round as CT. That kind of changed very late in CS 1.6. So and what we take from that, DDK, is that the game, the strategies we're watching right now, and the balance of the maps, we do sit here and say, like, okay, Mirage is very like 50-50. We will reach a point, not tomorrow, but a few months or a year ahead of us, where some of the balances that we are so used to going to change completely. This can be done through the meta game, like teams understand how to play the game and they're learning from their failures. So that obviously changes all the time between each and every tournament, and even sometimes even between each and every map. But also Valve might increase how good a rifle is. They might tweak some maps and stuff. So,
how many chickens we have.
And I think this is something we should always strive for. We like to see new balances. We like to see new ways of playing the game, and also we like to see new rifles involved. And back to that, what we spoke about earlier, more maps in Counter-Strike. I think that would be really great.
That's like a really exciting part of the game, because I mean, there's always been this thing in FPS games as well, where it's very hard to incorporate new maps into map pools. And I don't know if it's because of FPS or just because FPS scenes have just been a little bit smaller and there's been less competition. I don't know what it is. But
I don't know either.
But the interesting thing is that there are players and teams that have, like, there's this, like, if you have like a chart of like different skills, like let's say team play, coordination and aim and all this stuff, innovation is actually there as well, like, because that's directly like correlated to the understanding of the game. And like some teams get really good because they're mechanically super strong. Like if you like think about like these 13-year-old Korean kids playing StarCraft with insane mechanics, it's kind of like a similar situation. They'll maybe copy like an amazing strategist, but they can't come up with that themselves.
That's right.
So it's like, and I think that's a huge aspect that is missing, and that's exciting when a team does something like really
new, a new boost or something. But all the kind of exploits, I guess,
innovation.
But the stuff you can do on Dust 2, when I'm talking about the balance will change and all that, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm talking about that we will see a lot of new boosts or such stuff. But that actually is only stuff you can see, only things you can see on new maps. where you can like attack a bomb spot and you see, okay, why is he sitting there? Oh, that's a 3-man boost. You never knew that was possible.
Yeah,
so that kind of things I think we should strive to get, and that kind of comes from a combination of a more open mindset from the players and organizations, and also discussion between organizations and the organizers, tournament organizers. Because why are we still only playing 5 to 7 maps, depending on which kind of map pool you're using? Why couldn't it be like, yeah, again, as I addressed earlier, for the new viewers, seasonal maps. So a spring season, you play this amount of maps, and during each and every season, you can still have like Dust 2 can be like a mandatory map at that point, and then the next season can be train. But then you throw in another 3 or 4 maps. I know that people like VG, VeryGames, NIP, they would probably be against this now because they're raking in some decent cash, I suppose, and winning tournaments. But for the sake of the game and the development of strategies, why not?
Yeah, I mean, at the same token, they could be like, well, we think our understanding of the game is so good that we could just get ahead really, really fast on new maps. Like, I guess like a similar argument there too, and it is a really interesting thing. And actually, I mean, a quick bit of nostalgia again. You're talking about boosts and stuff. Wasn't there like an era when in 1.6 where there were some boosts where you like shoot your teammates?
Right, that's true.
Right.
Cobble, for example.
Cobble, yeah, I was thinking of Cobble, yeah. On the was it the A-bomb site, the really annoying one.
Yeah, I think SK had a strategy as terrorists. They rushed the big one, where you normally had like 4 CTs defending. And the first thing they did was to starting a boost, or a shooting boost rather. I think it was Fisker and Snydan, 2 of the legendary players in SK, started to shoot each other. One guy, the guy in the bottom, shot his teammate to gain to a very high point where you would never ever expect someone to be. But what happened, it worked fine during practice, being calm, cooled down, using the broadband in Sweden, just like, okay, screw this, it's not the end of the world. But then they ended up playing that round at the CPL event, I think, back in the days, and they did a team kill. So that's kind of like, but then we have to appreciate that. We have to love the fact that they tried something new
it's
in
really
such an old game still, and definitely an old map as well.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, there's so many creative boosts over the history. I think boosting is quite interesting. You could even make like the history of boosting. That should be like a documentary or something. Yeah. Because there's been so many that I remember, like because when I was casually viewing Counter-Strike, because I was always mainly a Quake player, I was still like playing and view Counter-Strike, and I would see so much innovation. There'd always be something new. Like even if it was like, for example, the one at Dust 2 where you'd stack a guy, you'd have a boost so you can see at the double doors to see it along cat. Like it's just stuff as simple as that. It's just like, wow, it's pretty awesome. I mean,
yeah, but there's also, are we going live now, by the way? Yeah, we are.
Okay, we are live. Looks like we missed the 9th round, so although there are some lives coming out. Anyway, we have VeryGames versus BZSX. This is map number 2, VeryGames match point on Dust 2, although it is BZSX's pick. Understandably so, being as pointed out previously by Khan, a very mix-friendly map. We have VeryGames taking the pistol round, and we see an M4 coming out from Scream there, and I guess that's a similar kind of thinking as we saw on Train with the AKs. I mean, it's such an accurate weapon, long range, with the tapping as well.
Definitely.
So, maybe.
And I think at this point, Existence and his guys, they're kind of predicting their opponent to buy AKs now, or like do some kind of drop, or at least P250s or something like that. That's not the case actually. They're going for full eco. They got the plant, didn't waste any money on pistols on this second round, eco round, so they're gonna have a full buy going into the 3rd round. So that's gonna be really interesting. And we won't see, on the same note, we will not see any AWP from VeryGames. So strategically wise, it looks pretty good still for BZSX. And we see also, I think it's Robin, right, picking up AWP.
Yeah, it seems that way. So let's see now.
That makes me wonder if he actually bought anything at all during the pistol round.
Oh, and there you go.
Because you see, they didn't expect that. How could he afford a sniper? They're screaming in French now or Belgian, whatever the language is. The only word I know is baguette. That's what my girlfriend said. I'm kidding.
All right, so that is very unexpected. You can even see they're like huddling up there to make his shot even easier, so he can't possibly miss.
You saw how surprised he was, right? He didn't expect him to have a sniper. So yeah, again, it made me think that this player, he didn't buy anything at all during the pistol round. Saving the $800, planting the bomb, and ending up having more than $4,750 he needed to buy that sniper. Surprised the team, now being down in 4-on-1 situation.
And that is like definitely also a meta game thing as well, because that could start being a very common strategy. You got to think, oh, okay, the terrorists planted the bomb, they're gonna leave one player who didn't do a buy. Okay, we've got to watch out for AWP on that round now. So that's a really interesting thing that could start happening. And here we go, we've got a plant coming in from Robin.
Yeah.
The AWPer who made that pick on the mid there. And it looks like it is going to be around for BZSX. I can't really see Existence doing much with this FAMAS and 14 points of health.
Obviously looking at the health bar, they're very low, but still, the bomb is planted in bomb spot B. So he needs to really put on his night shoes here to win this round and buy a super kit, I guess, if such existed.
Oh my god, he might actually take down these players. Spamming through the smoke, I can't believe he didn't get a kill there. Such good intuition on the spam. But Existence, he probably will survive here. He's doing a good job so far, and that's a big win. He's going to find a kill here. There it is. Brilliant stuff there from Existence.
I have to sigh a bit here, because, you know, earlier we spoke about Train and the money game there, like mid game, late game, and I did say that LGB at that point should have like just dash after Fnatic who was trying to save. But I cannot really apply that kind of statement into this part of the game, very early stage. So what I'm saying here is I think that BZSX, they shouldn't actually have wasted their time and money going after for Existence weapon there. Because you see, now they can buy, and I think that's due to the fact he got a few extra kills.
Most certainly, every little bit makes a difference. That's what you can also tell with the really good teams. They make like these decisions whereby they cut every single corner to make the most optimal situations try to happen for themselves. It's like, because they understand the distinction between these things, and that's like always such a good sign. But this setup's really interesting there. You can see that's quite a common one there from BK. You stand on the ledge there and you take a shot and then fall back off. So that's a really smart one to go for, and it's very common. And here we go, Twist to make his way up through onto the A bomb site, and they're going to double back now. Looks like they're going to make their way through. But the problem is that they're getting kind of cut off all over the place. There's still a great presence for VeryGames on mid. They take one pick, and the bomb is traveling up A again. They've got Long covered by Dumas, but is there a smoke for him for the crossover? It doesn't look like that's the case.
What he should run back and go catwalk now, because they would expect him to be there. But he's not innovative enough to think about that. But that actually should have been the proper decision here.
And looks like he's going to try to help his teammate there from the crossover kind of position, but they know his location. It's going to be down to individual skill to win this, just the straight up aim battles, and so far it's just MBK left, and MBK's got so much trouble on the horizon, and there it is. Trouble will get the better of him as Twist does get the final frag. So 2-2, and BZSX off the strength of that no buy on the pistol round into plant, into AWP on that second, was it second round? Third round.
What's that, sorry?
The AWP buy. Which round?
No, that was the third round.
The third round, sorry, my bad. Of course. And there we go. So that really...
Tiger economy.
Yeah. So that really, really helped them. We can even see Menlo here with a scout, which is interesting. Lots of scouts coming out. I mean, the scout was improved. It was actually buffed a bit. They made it so that you can be moving a little bit more, and it won't affect the accuracy as much. It's not as strict as the AWP for accuracy and movement. And the scout does a lot of damage.
The damage it deals. No, I don't really see the point of buying it.
Not too bad.
On maps like Train, I guess, it could make sense to buy the scout every now and then, when you can abuse the long distances.
Yeah.
But you don't really have that on Dust 2, especially not in the dark halls or the upper tunnel here. Just look at that.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the concept as well with the sniper rifle.
Oh my lord.
It's so vulnerable in the close medium ranges that if you're facing a sniper rifle, closing the distance is the way that you beat it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And with a scout, like, you have to take a shot, and even if you hit that shot, they're still closing distance on you. It's just you can only deal with like one guy at a time ever. That's right.
It's funny that Shox eventually used the scout against them. He felt like, no way I'm going to keep this rifle, let's just try to go for a kill, and he got it. Quite cool.
And we have 2 AWPs for the CT side here. What do you think about that?
Smart. So even if they take a shot in the middle here now, Shock's going to do that in any second. Misses it, but now they're going to expect that sniper to be in bomb spot B for like the next 10-15 seconds. But they might already have one in long. Let's go over to Smith.
Aggressive stuff from Shox. I like it though.
Oh, they went for double AWP mid, in fact, so yeah, I don't know why they did that.
And there you go. MBK going to be protecting Cat there with his life. So far he hasn't fallen, he's even gotten a second kill. So MBK, beautiful job there. Shox really leaving a lot to be desired for his AWPing on mid. Finally does pick off one though, and Robin as well, and able to catch Shox here. Both AWPers missing quite a bit of shots, and there is the duel still raging on in the mid kind of into the mid time of this round. And Robin's still going to back away. It looks like, I mean, there's not much they can do about this. They've just got to save, really. And with the two AWPs, I guess Existence Scream and MBK could try to go for some hunting, but it looks like actually they don't need to. So they're going to come towards them.
Wow.
Shoxy, great headshot through the doors. And Dumas there onto Existence. Shox left alone in mid there. Got to be careful not to drop that AWP. And Dumas has made it into a 1 versus 3, but that's it. The flank from Scream. And there you go. That's going to be the round there. And VeryGames doing, like, taking this back now. There was a little bit of fright with that AWP buy, but they're bringing things back under control with their own AWPs.
All right, so having the second round, well, actually the third round, I think it was, the round actually when VeryGames had an eco. You remember that Existence managed to save his weapon and kill off a few BZSX players? Now we're seeing what happens when they waste such money. They are forced to an eco now at the point they shouldn't really need an eco.
Yeah, I see. It's definitely an interesting consideration. I mean, it's thinking that far ahead is very important, and you can see that it's definitely underestimated. And that's also the thing about being really efficient. Something only the really top level teams truly understand and get. But VeryGames, they have kept this under lock. I mean, some of these rounds have been very sketchy for them, but it's just a 2 versus 2 now. Dumas and Robin left again, you know, and there is a brilliant shot there from Robin. But the thing is that he's, or rather from Shox. The thing is that Robin is really low still, and he's going to try to engage in this duel, and that's, I guess, a good situation for him. If he can take down Shox, that's quite a big victory here, because there's not much he can really hope to accomplish here, but no, just edging out there.
He should continue what he's doing now, hoping for the VeryGames to make a mistake, getting a kind of a free kill, I guess, but then he should end up saving, I think. He's on really 8 health right now. He doesn't have the bomb. He's up against one AWP and a Colt. Yeah, he goes down eventually.
I love that. He threw a weapon over the side, and Robin was looking at the weapon, kind of distracted him, because he's suddenly aware, oh, someone's above me, and he looked, and Shox peeked just at that moment. It's quite interesting, but I'm not sure of how intentional that was. But there you go. Still they've dropped an AWP actually. Smith is the one with the AWP here, alone, and Twist still trying to get that pick on the double doors through mid. So far, BZSX, they've got the double AWP set up again. What do you think about 2 AWPs on Terra's side?
Not so good.
It's lacking mobility, right?
Very much so. There is one advantage though, and I'm going to elaborate on that in a second here.
And they go onto the site. They did make their opening pick. Allow them to get that set up, but there's the bomb. Can VeryGames make the retake though? It looks like they're being absolutely denied so far. The window is a no-go zone. Shox is probably soon to find out here. He's going to make his way through. Spot the bomb there, the grenade to greet him through that window. And Shox is the last man standing, probably going for the exit kills at this point. So assuming that Shox can't do this, what was the point you wanted to talk about here? The double AWPs.
Alright, so the advantage of having double AWPs as terrorists, it's only accountable for during the first, let's see if it, oh my god.
Oh my god, no, okay. Oh. That was really weird.
I'm surprised how casual Dumas played that, that situation. If you miss that headshot, it's kind of hard to miss that headshot, I assume, but still. Anyway, double AWPs as T. During the time frame of the first 10 seconds, what you can do is one of the snipers actually trying to take the shot on the people jumping over the middle door. And what CTs may do then, they think that he missed the shot. It's going to be the shooting delay for 1 second, and then the sniper next to you waits and takes that kill.
I see.
But that's, to be honest, the only advantage I can really see.
That is also quite a...
Unless you have 2 Delpon on your team, or you have 2 JW, or even Smith or Shox for that sake.
Oh wow. That was really interesting as well. Twist taking the shots there, and they do actually defend, and that's an AWP dropped in the tunnels there, which is very interesting to know for VeryGames now, as Dumas makes his way up, and he catches one player. There's Shox. Did Shox warp there a little bit onto the ledge? It looked quite strange. How's Shox doing there?
Well, he's doing quite well considering the fact he has 154 in ping.
All right, there you go. So there is a bit of warping coming out from Shox. So looks like the internet is plaguing him right now. The gods of the interwebs aren't looking favorably upon him. But look, there comes the auto sniper to spam through the doors. They don't make any connections though, and that's unfortunate there for BZSX, as they do need every little bit that they can get against VeryGames so far. They're doing a good job, but Twist is going to open up onto Shox there, as we see Twist trying to, or rather Melee trying to look down mid.
He even has the bomb when he goes out there. That's kind of ballsy play, I guess.
It's kind of a mixy attitude.
Very much so.
And Twist, his teammates with him, going to try to make their way up this mid. Menlo as well, Benji, making their way so far so good. Got the smoke down on crossover. And Scream going to take down Twist, or Menlo rather. Their names are very confusing sometimes, the way they've nicked themselves. And the bomb does go down, so Existence is the last man standing there. There's not much he can do looking to try to survive here. Existence is going to make his way back through to the B tunnels, but they know exactly where he is, and the chase is on. Unleash the wolves and the dogs. Existence is being hunted, and there it is. Benji going to catch him, and VeryGames not doing incredibly well right now.
No, we have to say we're looking at a VeryGames team that is one of the best team, if not the best team currently in CSGO in the world, of course. And we're looking at a mixed team leading against them.
Yep.
Doesn't that give inspiration and some kind of hope to the community out there that the balance and the hierarchy of competitive Counter-Strike can change very drastically? Obviously, not to take too many conclusions from this now. We are looking at the T-sided map here, that's two.
Yeah,
and VeryGames being up 1-0.
A big push here coming up Cat into the A-bomb site. Looks like they're going to have an easy takeover of this. Shock's going to get absolutely decimated there. Just nothing much for him to do, and the site is taken over. We've got a player in CT spawn. Not much he can do. We've got some players from VeryGames to be coming around Cat, but there is a player up there on the mid that's going to stop them. But actually, they do get the kill on him, and that's going to be a weapon for them too, perhaps, as they are able to maybe go for some exit frags or something. I'm not sure what their options are looking good for. I guess exit frags is the only thing here. Maybe save that weapon that they found, that AK-47 with some Smiths. Maybe he should give it to Scream though, not only because he's Scream, but also because he's got more health.
True.
And
or maybe Scream is that good he can stick with his P250 and still do damage.
It's pretty good, and nothing much hit. Trying to find some weapons. Very smart play there. Oh, and he does pick up a...
that was nice. So that's probably the reasoning behind that. He had more health, so he can stay close to the bomb. And he eventually got the weapon. So
yeah, very smart. I love it.
Smart people.
So Scream going to pick up that AK, and that's something that maybe not be, might not be accounted for. But Smith, what can he do with this AWP? That's really
a long rush coming in here.
There it is. Let's see how they can handle this. And they're playing quite defensively on A. They got 3 players up there, but it's a very defensive setup. Can they stop this? Just 5 man, it's going to force this. There go the smokes.
Yeah, they saw at least 4 people there, so rotation must come in now. If you look at the overview, you're going to see a lot of VeryGames players in this area rotating.
Nice watching flank there at the long house. And up goes Menlo up the ramp, gonna get some kills as well. BK.
And they know where MBK is. Stupid like Twist to go and die there. Bad communication going on as well. Like Dumas, he should have known.
I think MBK was there too, and I think he knows it. He's got the USP out still, so he's gonna be going in for this. Dumas in a lot of trouble. He's got so low, and MBK dropped. Oh, this angle isn't the best. Dumas going to be able to get this, surely no! Great play from MBK there, brilliant rifling, able to save that situation, picks up an AWP as well for his team. Really great stuff there, MBK really clutching it out when it's all on the line, and he's going to be able to bring back something for his team, because they need to start stringing together the momentum, because right now BZSX are doing far too well for a mixed team against VeryGames.
So I think let's quickly look at Dumas and his inventory. He has AK full armor, I think, and a lot of grenades. And we're looking at Menlo with only a Deagle. I think that he would be able to afford dropping a Galil to his teammate rather than buying all the grenades.
And instead he just runs out and dies.
A bit selfish in that sense.
And Benji up. Benji with 2 quick picks up into the
third one there,
opening the entire thing up easily. And Twist with 1 too. And VeryGames, they're left with Scream. They're left with Smith with the AWP. It's so hard to retake with these weapons, and they put the perfect smoke down on Cat. It's really going to be hard for them now to deal with this. And right now, VeryGames have got to be feeling a little bit sorry for themselves, because even though they might be able to get some frags here, oh, can they really do this? They managed to kill every single player. I was all ready to count them out. But
that was such a waste of round for BZSX.
It really felt like they had that in the bag.
That positioning. It feels a bit like they are late to the train or the bus or whatever vehicle they're planning to get on a journey on tonight, but they played that too stressful, and that kind of hurt them in the end.
I mean, they had the smoke down, and VeryGames just had to push through it, and they did. And they managed to make it work. Again, everything stacked in the favor of BZSX, as you said. It's quite disappointing, but here we go. We've got another push on long, which seems like they're favoring it. And looks like VeryGames have 3 players over there too. And you can see MBK spraying them down now, and this is a great situation. There's the bomb as well. So the bomb is up there, and who do we have left? We have Dumas, and I'm not sure what he's going to be able to accomplish, but he's going to do his best. With that
the bomb is at long
AK-47.
as well, so this is quite game over for him.
Unless he can pull off a miracle. The miracles happen. There it is. There's a quick pick, but he already lost all of his health in getting that kill onto Scream. And now he's waiting patiently for the rotation. Smart play, but not much health to do it against. And he does make it happen. Beautiful play from Dumas coming in here. Understood exactly the information his opponents had and understood exactly where to aim because of that. So Dumas now, with no health, is going to try to make his way towards that bomb. How much round time does he have? 45 seconds. Right. So not much time. He would love more, but it is something. Not too dire, desperate just yet. And I mean, maybe you just pick up an AWP and survive. I mean, I guess that's the best thing to do. He's trying to go for the tap spot. Yes. We have no ammunition.
I think we have just missed the aim there.
Very
but yeah, he should have probably saved the sniper there if he could find that rifle.
Yeah. It's down there on the floor, but otherwise Dumas did a lot, some economic damage at least. I'm not sure how much.
Doesn't matter that much going into the last round number 15 here.
Oh yeah, it's a bit redundant there. And that AWP would have served him much better. And let's see now how VeryGames handle this. And they've seen a lot of aggression up long. And again, they're going to see more. And there's a scout, in fact. And you can see 3 players still for VeryGames. They're reading this well. And that's it. Spray through the smoke. MBK takes down 1. But the trade comes on to Shox. Spraying down. MBK has to pull out his P250. Nuclear threat. And that's going to be that cleanup on A long. So it's Dumas and Twist here. Just the last 2 standing for the T side. This last round. Trying to make things happen.
I think Smith is going to go in here quickly and try to reject their plant here. He's trying at least.
Wow! It looked like for certain he had the kill, but Twist turned around and said no with the deagle, and Dumas gets a dink there, and Twist with the scout could make it happen. No, the scout not going to do the job. You need those headshots, and he missed. So Scream going to get the defuse, and that's 8-7 for VeryGames. Again, they go into the same round scores the first half on Inferno, and they had maybe a warpy Shox. They're feeling, I guess they're feeling the unorthodoxy of BZSX, and they're feeling the
randomness. Is probably the word we're looking for. Did you see the 5-man rush along, for example?
Yeah, that is. You don't see that every day.
No, I'm quite surprised how VeryGames wasn't able to kind of deflect that rush, because they got so much information in the early part of that round. At least they saw 4 people rushing long, and still they weren't able to stop them.
The VeryGames, they are just charging through, up through camp, into the A-bomb site. They take over everything. They are out for blood. Just charging down CT spawn. They don't even care about the efficient setups of super safe plays. They're just angry. They just want to get those kills and gun down their opponents in the duels. So there you go. It's a scout for Scream and P90s.
I'm starting to think, DDK, that we have missed a patch or something like that.
Well, the scout did get buffed a little bit. But
but a little bit. Is that enough to justify buying it on the second round against the USBs and P250s?
The change that I'm aware of was that they made it more flexible, like as far as the AWP is concerned. You have to be dead still to shoot accurately, but with the scout, it was the same, but then they buffed it so that you don't have to be as still. It's not as strict as the AWP. And I thought that was the main change, but maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
But for me, hearing that, still not a viable decision to buy it. There are more weapons in the armory you can buy.
And the P90s do survive, and there's another scout for Scream. Another scout for Scream. So interesting stuff here. Maybe, does he have enough money to buy an AK afterwards? I don't know, but...
No, he hasn't.
So he's going to commit with this again, trying to go for the headshots. I think they're just going nuts against this team now. They're just maybe being a bit unorthodox themselves. But here comes the cat rush from VeryGames.
Yeah, but they know what they're up against, and I think that's a sensible decision with AKs playing against pistols. You can't rush. That might actually be the most sensible decision at this point in CSGO. Instead of waiting things out and kind of inviting the CTs to get a hold of one of your rifles.
Yeah.
That's going to cause a lot of panic in the T camp, forcing you to do a lot of stupid, random, difficult decisions.
It does make sense too that they want to get a bit nitty gritty with, like, down and dirty with BZSX, because I mean, from an aim game, from every perspective, you look at VeryGames, you're like, well, they're just better players. So
true.
If they take the game to BZSX, like what they want to do is they want to play and play fire with fire, then their fire is a lot bigger, a lot stronger, and a lot more intense. So VeryGames here being much more aggressive than they were, and Shox, even with his lag, is able to take down a bunch of players. One of the best AKs in the world, you said. Well, it does seem evident, and Shox.
Reminds a bit of Day of Defeat, you know, you're buying the weapon that has like 200 bullets, you spam it.
Yeah, that looks really
the
funny.
recoil is everywhere. It's even behind you, pretty much.
So VeryGames just taking full control of this map now. Bomb planted. They are just charging their opponents down, and Dumas with that M4 is not going to do much with it. Here he goes. He's going to go for the duel, but there you go. Scream is in with the headshot, and that's going to be the end of Dumas. So.
Unless there is a miracle now, I think VeryGames gonna take the remaining rounds, making it 16-7.
Yeah, it does seem like that's gonna be what's gonna happen. And right now, 12-7. It did look really shaky on the CT side for VeryGames, but I suppose again, like, they're so good on T because their rushes are so strong and so powerful. They really get to assert their. Because I guess this is the weak part for the mix too, is the defensive game. The aggressive game is much easier for a mix too. So. Scream trying to tap dance his way to victory. Unable to do so there, but
most that.
His team's got it covered. His teammates got it covered. So there you go. VeryGames are really starting to come in to their full flavor here. Full force moving into Dust 2 as they have the aggressive side, the terrorist side to play with. You can see things are going a lot better for them despite the lag that Shox is experiencing, as he always seems to in FACEIT Cups, unfortunately for him. So it looks like we're going to go for a B aggression here. They got some nice spawns. If they can get the first pick there, opening up with an HE, then that's going to be a
This
really
can be an interesting round
situation.
for Twist here with the super sniper. VeryGames trying to attack Bombspot B straight away into the round, but fails miserably, putting themselves in a 4-on-5 situation.
See what they can do with this. They're spamming away on mid doors. And Twist just spamming away with his auto sniper. Not going to find anything at all with that though. Unfortunate for him. And looks like VeryGames going to decide to go up cat and commit there, but actually the setup isn't too horrendous now for BZSX, so this could go well, and they drop the bomb there to indicate they know that they need the opening pick to commit. But there is the bomb pickup, and there's two left now. They're just getting picked away one at a time. Yeah. And there you go, Scream and his teammate through. Not much to do though, and they go down too. So.
I kind of jinxed what I just said then, because they finally got another round, BZSX that is, but yeah, I think there's pretty much only one round VeryGames need, because then CTs here are going to be put in a very dire money situation.
It's very true. Let's see exactly what they're going to go for now. Looks like they got an even split across the map here. They got the bomber on the mid. Seems like they're not really committed to anything just yet. They're going to try to work for those picks. And wow, okay, that's going to be a pick going the wrong way. MBK going to get taken down there. Really unfortunate. They're going to go straight out mid though. They just want to get the action, but they get stopped there as well. So BZSX are suddenly starting to come back into fashion here with some of their defenses. And Existence still trying to force his way through mid, and there's going to be a great headshot there. He's going to try to spray control all the way over to the CT spawn, but Dumas is unrelenting here. He's going to keep trying to push the position, and they have A on lock too, but it's a 2-on-2 now. Dumas can't go down.
Seems like VeryGames doesn't know that the guy here in CT base is the only guy defending bomb spot B at this point, or in fact he's not defending it, because basically bomb spot B is completely safe.
It seems
to
like
go in
Dumas
and grab the plant there, which they should momentarily. And
Dumas is still at the double doors, not really paying attention to the possibility that there could be something B, which is interesting. This is, I guess, a big failure on the fact that he left that opening and kind of didn't account for it.
Yeah. Now they're trying to look for a better rifle than an AWP to retake this bomb spot with.
So can VeryGames successfully execute a defense here, 2 versus 2. They got an AWP and AK. And here comes Twist, Legend Menlo through. And oh my god, Existence can't find him with the spray. He's going to run out of bullets. Oof. Lost bullet does the job. What the hell was that? It looked like the most
It
awkward.
looked like me a bit on the matchmaking, actually.
Yeah. Oh man, most awkward AK spray ever. It was like the bullets were going around his opponent almost.
Right.
It's very interesting there. So, VeryGames still not out of the woods yet, but just 2 more rounds to clinch this one away and take this map. And the BZSX have a long road to come back to win this. 8 rounds in a row they need against the 2 VeryGames. So let's see what happens here as Long is biased here. We've got Smith trying to make his way out. Goes for the duel there. Spray not going to work at all. Dumas takes down 2. Looking for a 3rd. He's stuck by the car now. There's not much to do in that position. He's locked down and the grenades are going to finish him off there as his teammates rotate. It's a 2-on-3. Scream in existence. They can absolutely do this, but so can BZSX. They're going to try and boost up onto the site perhaps. Well, not just yet, it seems. And looks like they want it.
One of them are really keen to get boosted here, but his teammates.
Oh, flank! Oh, Benji with the flank. This is so bad for Scream now. And he does go down.
Oh, we missed that headshot. It was a really nice Mag 7 headshot there from Robin. Anyway, 14-9. Let's look at the money situation. Yes, I do think VeryGames are able to get enough money here and purchase some nice rifles.
Some juicy rifles for VeryGames. Looks like it's going to be a boost for BZSX. Usually it's indicative of an aggression on cat, quick aggression on cat. Otherwise, why would you need that?
Kind of failing on the boosting procedure.
That is
what's going on here. Hey brother, what's going on here? Nice hat.
Awkward. Wow, that was an embarrassing moment you caught there.
Now they got the entry frag as well.
Okay, so
all these small things, you know.
Oh yeah, makes the game interesting. And a lot of aggression on the double doors here from VeryGames. They really like to cut away that mid player, and the mid player on a CT, he's the guy that gets the information, isn't he? I mean, he's important. That's a lot of information.
And even the lack of information can sometimes play in your favor.
Exactly, yeah.
Constantly feeding your teammate with the information you're seeing or not seeing.
As this is a game where deduction is very, very important.
Certainly.
And if you don't know what the power of deduction can do for you, you should watch some Sherlock Holmes or read some of the books. And Scream is the last one.
Existence did somewhat of a blunder. He was walking too close to the ledge, and Robin was able to find his head and eventually take it off by his M4A1. And now he hears.
Robin, great spray around the corner there. I mean, he had it lined up. It was all too easy there. And they're actually starting to make inroads here on this deficit that they have made for themselves. 14-10 now. BZSX, if they win this, they do force it to a decider map. And VeryGames just need 2 more rounds. And against a team like this, they do not want to play any more maps. They really don't.
Definitely
against
not.
the mixed team. It can really throw you off. It can really feel awkward. And even for some teams, it can be hard to take seriously. But let's see if VeryGames can keep their composure and keep together. They're going to lose shocks there, but they are on kind of an eco here with pistols. They got some P250s going on. The P250 buys are amazing sometimes.
Yeah, and I think VeryGames are particularly good at that as well. I think they have somewhat had a lot of innovation when it comes to low buys, like force buys, compared to their opponents. And even like anti-eco, sometimes they just kept the Glocks in the second round and just rushed the bomb spot and hope for the best.
And Existence, I was about to say he's about to get in the side, but he does get eliminated there. So this 14-11 now. This is looking pretty doable now for our mixed team. The team that beat N Faculty, that knocked them out in the opening round there. BZSX, they are making maybe a bit of a name for themselves, even despite being a bit of a mixed team. The players are getting more cam time at least, and recognition for a feat that could yet be, I mean, if they perform this feat, if they beat VeryGames here, this is going to be a really huge result. VeryGames are insanely good, but so far VeryGames are taking this round slowly. And what do you make of how their setup looks like right now? They got a lot of players around the double doors.
I think they have come to, they've reached the point where they cannot justify just running around on the map, rushing B through the smokes, taking a lot of gambles. Now they feel like, okay, 14-11, that's about it. Now let's play our solid standard game and eventually squeeze the Swedes out here.
And let's see exactly what goes on now, as they have 3 players to BZSX in the B bomb site, and over at A Long. That's where we've got 3 players for VeryGames and 2 on Cat. So a 3-2 split is looking like it's about to happen right now before our eyes. They make the push onto the A bomb site. Existence there, trying to spot through the smoke any enemies that he can. They do take down the player on the site. It's opened right up for them, but they've got to get the bomb all the way over from Long. They did make the pick there, so it's a 5 versus 3 now for VeryGames. They have a great situation, but can BZSX make this happen? Scream with the great kill on the flanker. So they need to save now. There's nothing else to do. There is
actually, if I were them, I would go for it.
You'd go for it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. It looks like they're going to go for it too. Here they are up. Benji straight up through Cat. There's a player on Graffiti. There's also a player below him. Or rather, that's his teammate below him to support him. Good coordination so far. Twist going to make... Oh, he switches the weapon at the wrong point, but his teammate's got it covered anyway. And here's 2 players on Long. A headshot coming in onto him. And Benji, the last man standing.
He gave up there. And surrender. But yeah, definitely to elaborate on what I just said, I think they should go for it still, because they have enough money to buy this round. Yes, they do. I could just confirm that by looking at the money stats. And even if it's like a big long shot, 1 out of 10 they will win that retake. They should take it. It's much easier to play knowing that you still are able to win, instead of now being forced to move into overtime if you want to take this to a 3rd map.
Yeah, and already losing Smiths there. That's pretty hard to deal with for VeryGames. Again, if you what are nice strategies or plays when you drop a player right at the start of the round? What is something that you think VeryGames would be good at doing right now?
Go all of them catwalk would work. Something like that, like, or 3+1. 1 guy of them like stalks someone, like flanks Long, for example, and 3 of them attacks catwalk. I think that could work, because at these moments you don't necessarily need the 5th person. Yeah,
it's true. The 5th person, I guess, isn't always the most important deal, and that's why it's interesting to see these backup strategies where if things go wrong. I think teams definitely need to focus on those, and VeryGames open up the B-bomb site. They do manage to get themselves in on there, and there is a hidden plant kind of all the way at the corner there. It's not the best possible plant you can have on any situation, but Scream going to try to defend for the big box there, and moving his way to the back of the site, to the back of the plateau there as he gets gunned down from behind those barrels. In goes Dumas with that pick. He's pushing in on Strong on the 1-on-1, the dual situation. Shox has to defend. He's got an AK-47 to do it. Dumas comes through the doors. The bomb is planted there, and right now Dumas charging for that bomb for the defuse. He goes for the fake, and it's read by Shox. He reads it perfectly, and Dumas, too much time is wasted, and he comes in to execute Dumas there for VeryGames to defeat BZSX and win this round and make it to that grand finals against LGB. So there you go. We know what the grand finals will be now.
Yeah, definitely a bit closer than what VeryGames and ourselves, I guess, expected from that game. VeryGames on the paper, like, not a certain medalist, but they should be in the grand final here. But still, the Swedes, they gave them a decent fight. They did.
They most certainly did. And so that means, congratulations for them to make it to the finals. And they have to play against LGB right now. And LGB have been looking really, really strong. If you missed any of the matches prior to this, LGB, they managed to take down Fnatic, and they're looking really, really good. So LGB, I mean, if they're playing against the VeryGames like this, it could happen. I think it can happen. But before we go to a longer break, before we hit up that finals, that grand finals here, I want to remind you guys to get on the platform. A lot of games are happening. A lot of pickup games are happening right there. Just go to the CS dashboard on FACEIT.com and get yourself playing on some 128-tick servers and experience the automated system that we have to offer on the FACEIT platform. It's a really nice one. It's really smooth, and I think you'll enjoy it. So go test it out. Go play some and give us your feedback, whether it may be, whether it's on Reddit, on HLTV, or whatever forum you want to. You can go and do that. So guys, we will see you very shortly for this next match, which will be the grand final, LGB versus Team VeryGames. It's going to be a really nice match. Get some tweets out there. Let's pump up the numbers, and me and Khan will be back for that very shortly. I think about 15-20 minutes or so for this break, and then we'll see you after that. So see you guys soon.